Hi, guys, this is Sharon from House of Prayer. I'm bringing you this morning Divine Working of the Spirit, Speaking in Tongues, Part 2. And this prophecy was given to Bertha Dudde on March 23rd, 1961, and was released yesterday. You may constantly receive my love and grace, and at no time ever shall your measure be small. You shall always be given according to your desire, and thus you shall also be instructed. If you are uninformed, spiritual knowledge shall be conveyed to you as soon as you require it for your salvation of soul. You shall become enlightened, and this light shines forth in you through the working of my Spirit, because I love you. And nothing I bestow upon you will ever increase your darkness. It will never contribute towards spreading spiritual night over you. For when the eternal light sends its rays of love to you, you must be enlightened yourselves. Everything must become clear to you. Don't forget this fundamental right truth. Then you will also always make the right judgment if this is demanded of you in regards to spiritual activity whose origin is debatable. Anything that comes from me can only be light and only ever ignite light in you. In contrast, anything that cannot offer you light does not come from me. Instead, it's the source, as with my adversary, whose greatest endeavor is to keep you in spiritual darkness. But now, do not raise the objection that you are incapable of making a correct judgment, for as soon as you turn to me with the appeal for spiritual enlightenment, as soon as your request comes from the bottom of your heart and is voiced for this sake of pure truth, you may truly also rely on the fact that it will be granted to you, for every person is pleasing to me to whom the truth is sacred, who strives for it, and who turns to me myself, the eternal truth itself. I won't leave you in spiritual darkness, and then you will always have the right thoughts and brightly and clearly recognize as to whether spiritual knowledge originates from me or my adversary. However, only a few people genuinely desire truth. Consequently, much can be presented as truth to the others without recognizing the error, for they will also accept everything thoughtlessly and endorse it again to fellow humans being as truth, and thereby add even more darkness among the human race. From my side, no forceful elimination of such misguided teachings can ensure, because time and again people will be taken in by my adversary's activity and grant him access, for as long as they don't seriously desire and request light from me, and because until they do, countermeasures on my part will remain unsuccessful on account of people's free will. And so I can only ever grant light to those who want to escape the darkness. But they will indeed be illuminated by my light of love, and they always recognize where my adversary has increased in order to confuse people's thoughts. They will know that anything that is puzzling to people can never be my activity. that I am never at work when people spread what no one can understand. When they present themselves as being filled by the Spirit of God and cannot provide their fellow human beings with any light whatsoever, don't believe every spirit. Instead, test them seriously, for my opposing spirit is working as well, especially during the time of the end, and he will cause increasingly more confusion by hiding behind my word, behind the book of the fathers. He will draw you humans into error and be able to do so because you believe you know the truth and therefore don't seriously desire the truth, for which you must call upon me for enlightenment. You believe that you can draw the truth from the book of books and fail to appeal to me for the right spirit, so that you will understand this book properly, so that you won't merely read the letter without grasping the spirit concealed behind the letter. For the letter kills, only the spirit gives life. However, you can only grasp the spiritual meaning of the word if a light has been kindled in you. And if my spirit is able to work in you, which enlightens you from within, so that you then will understand the meaning of the written word. And you shall always make sure as to whether you receive a very clear explanation, for only that which comes from me gives this clear explanation. What you cannot understand despite your best intentions, what makes you question even more, is not from me, and you can unhesitatingly reject it as the working of my opposing spirit, and need not be afraid that you will be held to account because of your rejection, for the light will always affect you beneficially, whereas the darkness will make those of you withdraw who desire light. And my spirit is not at work as long as you question, as long as you cannot see clearly. Instead, it is the work of the one who fights the light, the truth, and you shall keep away from him. Amen. 1 John 4:1. Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. Amen.